The white had spent its hunger deep and left the tunnels pale and still. Claws were gone from root and sleep, breath lay buried under hill. I pressed my palm against the ground. The earth remembered more than I. A thread of heat beneath it, woven too old to fade, too warm to lie. I followed through the root-wrapped stone where flowers lit the broken waves. Their petals shone in caverns grown where ash had swallowed older days. The air grew thick with buried flame. The walls ran red beneath the black. Each step drew nearer to a name the mountain could not carry back. Obsidian ribs enclosed the core. White roots had split their shining seam. A shape lay sealed behind the ore, half beast, half ember, half a dream. The white had woken what it crossed, yet left the answer incomplete. A living spark too long in frost still trembled under stone and heat. I found no sacred oath or sign, only a pulse I could not leave. So fire rose from this hand of mine, and air bent close enough to breathe. And silence opened into sense. I horned folk fire, a vanished sky. A word came through the heated dense, carving where older ashes fly. I asked the shape how names were made. It answered without tongue or tone. That was the name this people gave, but I have carried none alone. So I look close at a wing and feathered, blazing bright in wounded bone. You're rather cute, I dare to speak. His outrage flashed through blood and stone. Perico, then the name took spark. He shook his little burning crest. The cavern flared from red to dark, as if offended by the jest. He showed me height beyond the cave, then folded weakness in his wing. Freedom had opened sharp and brave. Flight was a far more costly thing. I could not falls white had reached past root and strand, through miles of wounded, flowering grace. I turned where black moon should have been, though no peak broke the ashen line. I thought of thorn, of home unseen, of parents waiting past the pine. I knew its halls would close their door, I knew the truth before it came. So black moon called me back once more, with old cold stones that knew my name. His thoughts struck bright, alert and near. My friend is there beneath the flame. I have to find him, he is here. He dropped through ash and crimson cloud toward roofs the white had overgrown. The village stared breathless and loud as fire made shadow over stone. Then Perico came down to land before the one his heart had known. Kale stood still in dust and light, shocked by a past that called him home.